Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of 5X video. In today's video, I kind of want to take a look and talk about the current drama going around of basically how the global and Japanese side are getting shafted right now. And hopefully the SEA side won't be. But the whole reason what's sparking this right now for me is from getting this tweet from P5X alertbot, where he was talking about how the P5X chief producer, Lao V, also known as Volp, created his official public availability account for communicating with Chinese players. So I love the fact that the producer, like the head producer for the China side, is making trying to connect with the Chinese community and just kind of ask them what's going, like what they want to see, what they like, what they dislike. I love the fact that they're bringing open communication. Since what I've been talking about for the last couple of days now for myself is my biggest problem isn't the Marian situation, it's the lack of communication from SEGA on that, as well as just not updating us properly on the global side of things. But on top of that, what's going on, one of the things that's coming from the Chinese side, they're even saying, please, like this comment right here, please save the foreign server, which I saw from Najak's Twitter. And what really sparked this interest in this video for me is seeing this comment right here. See, in solidarity, that's actually surprising, since as some of you guys may know, it's not often that we get where the Chinese server side of things wants to actually where the Chinese server side of things actually care about what's happening on the global side of things. Most of the time, they only care for themselves, or at least from what I notice. I could be wrong, and if I am wrong, please let me know. But I am loving the fact of seeing the entire P5X community come together for the most part and want every server to do well. Every server to be like the Chinese, Taiwan, and Korea servers where we're all thriving and surviving together. So I think that's really nice to see. And just another general meme post. Save P5X, save the P5X global, Lao V. But unfortunately, Lao V can't do anything for us, because Lao V is only in charge of the Chinese side. Instead, we have to deal with SEGA as our producer, which, as we know right now, they're not doing the best job for us. They're making changes and not letting anybody know about said changes, such as buffing, as hopefully some of you guys know, they buffed Yui without saying anything to us, which I understand that, you know, well, technically she's a new unit, but most people can look and see what's going on the other servers and kind of know what to expect. But now all of a sudden they buffed Yui, and now it's just like, is she a pull, is she not? That's for you guys to decide. But my biggest concern, like I was saying, is the fact that we have very limited communication on the global side of things. So this is the official P5X Western Twitter, and they made this post at, let's see, 12:38 in the morning, because global and Japan are on the same, we're one server. And so they were talking about releasing the Japanese live stream that they did, and they had it at like I think 4 in the morning my time. This is Mountain Standard Time, but it's talking about how on the 9th, which is a couple days on Wednesday, that they were going to release a live stream for us. Well, for one, it wasn't a live stream; it was a translated version of the live stream that the Japanese server got. But they're dropped at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning for me, which is, like I said, Mountain Standard Time. And then it was radio silence, essentially, not this post, besides for a little patch update that we got at 6:50 in the morning the next day. And then, oh, sorry. And then we didn't get a reply of knowing what's happening on the global side of things until 12:30 in the morning on the 10th. So 20 hours later of radio silence of the global side of the community freaking out and not knowing what's going on. When I say global, I mean the English side, not so much the Japanese, because at least they got they got theirs and they were able to see what's going on. Well, us, we would have had to go to the Japanese Atlas account and look at the video there, which is I have pulled up right here, because I was reading some of the comments, and I'm gonna be going over it because even the Japanese are freaking out, which is surprising, because generally so since Sega's running it, generally a Japanese company will do well to the Japanese player base, but they're shafting them like they shafted us, which makes sense because they're running both of the servers at the same time, or I can't remember if it's combined or not. But so they went 20 hours of radio silence, and then they released this after the servers went live for the 1.1 update. And then finally, a whole, what was it? How much of a difference was that? Was that 26 hours? So yeah, over 26 and a half hours later, after the Japanese got their live stream, they finally gave us, in 3.5 hours after the servers went live, we finally got ours, which I didn't really look at because I instead decided to watch the Japanese live stream and used, as you can see, closed captionings because it did a good enough job, and I didn't bother looking at the English side of things as much. But my biggest problem with it is, so for one, they wanted to make it seem like it was a live stream, but you know, it wasn't. Why would you include a 10.5 minutes or 10 minutes of a extreme version going live? Why would you include that? And then of course they added a little bit at the end. And then it was mostly, the whole reason we wanted to watch it was just so that we could see the translated screens. And that's what I mean by the fact of, I don't know why they were so slow on updating us on the global side of things. And with everything that's going on the for global, why have we gotten no news? Why have they not always said anything? You know, like I hate the radio silence, and that's my biggest problem. But even the Japanese side, like they're also, it's really just really bad. So right here, it's for your own good kind of stuff. So what they were talking about right there is the fact that they were talking about the Marian situation that's going on, with how they're not releasing her to standard pool right after the release. I mean, sorry, not the release, but like after she gets off the limited, after her limited banner goes away, they're not putting her to the standard pool. They're instead going to wait until their dates, and we have no information on that. Why can't you just tell us? Like, why do you have to make, like, bring in what feels like fear of missing out on that situation? I don't like that entire thing. And then reading forward, like, I've also, it just, from the sentiment it is coming forward, it just feels like a lot of, we're not happy. Here's the quote: I don't think the drop rate is high enough that it would be a constant occurrence. Even if you have 100 golden tickets, only a small percentage of people will get it. But like, that's the thing, what they were talking about in the live stream was like, well, we don't want to put her in standard right away because some people have spent their gold tickets while others haven't, and they've been saving. But even if you save every single golden ticket that you get, even if, like, let's say outside of the initial 50 to get your on or whatever you picked, you would maybe have like 150 to 200 after everything's said and done. So that's enough to, like, guarantee 2 characters. If you're lucky, maybe 3 to 4. And then you have to hit the 1 in 6 chance, which is, you know, you have to hit the 16% chance of hitting Marian within that. So the likelihood of you getting it is not high to begin with. And if you only have, let's say, 100 tickets right now, well, you're basically looking at maybe 1 to 2 chances. And the likelihood of you getting Marian is not there at all. And of course, they know, most of the player base know about the Luffle Plan 3 and 4. So why is it that they decided to change it and take out the Marian dupe from it? It doesn't make sense, especially since if they just kept the original release of putting Marian into 1.2 or 1, which technically are technically R1.2, but technically 1.3, which is Fox release, it wouldn't have made a difference because most players won't be level 70 before that anyway. So what's the big deal? Just give it to us. And a lot of people are talking about how in Luffle Plan 4 they took out Marian's weapon from there. I believe that was added in a later patch, if I remember correctly, because from the people from talking to the people from the TW who played from the start, they told me that it wasn't there in the first place anyway. And then when I made my TW accounts, which was, I made one back in October, November area-ish. I do remember, I don't remember it there, but it could have been. But I know most recently, my most recent account, which was made in March for the Annie, Marian's weapon was there. So I don't know what the deal with that exactly is. If I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me. But I don't really want to bring up a bunch of drama and talk about that, but I want to talk about why the biggest problem in the what's currently happening in the global side in Japanese is the fact that we're getting no communication from them. And I think it's a really big problem. But like I said, please feel free to let me know how you guys feel about everything. And I hope you guys have a great day. Take care. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.